Welcome to Your 10-Minute Yoga with me, Melissa. Today we're going to be working on loosening up the hips. One of my biggest complaints that I get from my students is that they have tightness in the hips, so we're going to work on that today. So bring the legs a little bit wider than hip distance apart. We're going to begin with hip circles. So hands on the hips and just slowly rotate the hips as if you had pencils on your hips and were drawing on the floor. You might feel a little bit silly, but you're really opening up all the muscles that attach to the hips here and loosening up the low back. So we switch sides, just slow circles at your own pace. Okay, so step to the front of your mat, step one leg back into a lunge. Heels off the floor, and we're gonna lift the arms here. So you want a really nice wide collarbone, pressing the chest forward, bend through the front knee, and just create energy coming through the back leg, pushing out through that heel, lifting the back of the kneecap toward the ceiling, and just sit into it. Really feel the stretch in the hip flexors. Lower the arms, let's step it together to the other side. So you should be feeling it right here. And again, energy in this back leg. You can still work the back of the leg and the butt and get a good stretch in the hips. Remember, deep breathing. And lower the arms. Bring the legs a little bit wider than they were before now. Feet are parallel. We're going to do a twist here. So come into a forward bend, place the right hand flat on the floor in front of you, extend the left arm up. If this is enough of a stretch, stay here, gazing up toward that extended arm. Or you can gently bend the left leg here, and you should feel a stretch in the inner thigh on the right. Switch sides, so straighten that leg, left hand comes to the center, coming into a twist, and gently bend the right knee if you're ready to do so. We're getting that detoxifying benefit of a twist. Down through center. You can hang out here for a little bit if you'd like. And then gently come back up. So come now into a downward dog. Hands on the floor, fingertips facing forward, feet hip distance apart. The hips are stretched up toward the ceiling. Really breathe into your pose here. We're going to do a three-legged downward dog. So lift that left leg high in the air. Don't worry about keeping the hips square. You want to lift it as high as you can. Really feel that stretch in the hips. And then using the abdominals, we're going to draw the knee in toward the body and lower it into pigeon pose. So adjust that back leg. Find your nice strong pigeon pose. Untuck the back foot. And just hang out here, pressing the body forward on the fingertips. Breathing into that hip. You should feel a stretch the piriformis, the outer thighs, and the glute on the left side. You should feel the inner thigh and psoas on the right side working here. And if and when you're ready, you can come onto the elbows. Really lengthening out of the low back in this pose. Don't let the spine compress at all. Nice long spine. Gently come back up. We're going to come back to downward dog from here. So tuck that back foot under, press into the hands, lift, and adjust yourself to your good down dog. Let's try the other side. So the right leg lifts. Really breathe into that hip and make sure that you're putting pressure on the right hand in order to not fall over to the left. The abs to draw the knee in toward the chest. You're almost in like a plank here, so feel it in the abs. And drop down into your pigeon. Adjust the body accordingly. You want the hips and torso square to the front of the mat as much as possible. And make sure that you're not way up here. Keep that left hip moving toward the floor. And you can either stay up here or come onto the elbows. Again, really lengthening through the back of the neck, dropping the tailbone, and dropping that left hip toward the floor here. And come back up onto the hands, back foot's gonna tuck under, back to downward dog. And then widen those knees, drop down into child's pose here. And just imagine that you have a weight at your lower back and it's dropping toward the floor. Let the low back release in this pose. Gently come up. We're going to do fire log pose here. So the left foot comes onto the floor. Basically the shin is parallel to the front of the mat. We're going to stack the legs. Foot on top of knee, knee on top of foot. And just sit here. It should feel almost like a lotus pose. And this is really difficult for some people. So just hang out. You can push against the knee if you need that extra stretch. And just find the breath here. Really lengthen the spine. Let's just do a variation. We're going to interlace the fingers and lift them up, pressing the heel of the hand, getting a nice little shoulder stretch here, lengthening the side body. And lower the arms, and let's switch the feet. So the right foot is on the ground, left leg on top, foot on top of knee, knee on top of foot. And again, you can always press down if you need that extra stretch in the thighs. Just really sit up straight, breathe through any discomfort. If you're in pain, stop, pull back a little bit. But if you're just at your edge, that place between comfortable and not, that's where you want to be. And let's interlace the fingers. Press the heel of the hand up toward the ceiling, get a nice stretch through the torso. Create space in the body, use your breath, and then lower the arms. Now we're going to do a variation of Gomukhasana, or cow face pose. So the left leg is going to come onto the floor. This time, instead of having the shin parallel to the mat, you want the knee in front of you, or as close as you can get. Right leg is going to come on top. So if you're really tight here, you can open it up a little bit, but don't have the foot on the floor. You don't want the knee up. Ideally, the knees are stacked, feet behind you. We're going to do a forward bend here. So lift the arms up, grow really tall out of the waist, and exhale, fold. Try to keep the hips on the ground the whole time. It's hard, so if this is as far as you can go, that's fine. Otherwise, hands on the floor and just walk the fingertips forward as far as you can. I'm not sure you can see me right now, so I'll show you from the side. You're lengthening out of the spine, and don't let those hips lift. You want to stay on the floor. And let's try the other side. So the right leg is on the ground, knee in front of the body, stack the left on top. Just find that nice stable base here, and again, you should really feel this in the hips. Lift the arms up. And exhale as you fold. And again, if this is as far as you can go, that's fine. I feel this in my hips now. Otherwise, hands on the floor, walk the fingertips as far forward as you can go. And just enjoy the forward bend here, breathing into the back. Walk the hands back, gently come up. Come back to Sukhasana, or easy pose. And I encourage you just to sit for a few minutes, breathing into it, just noticing your body, noticing how your hips feel after our practice today. This has been Melissa. Thank you so much for working out with me. Namaste.